Boys and girls, your attention, please. Presenting a new exciting radio program featuring the thrilling adventures of an amazing and incredible personality. Faster than an airplane, more powerful than a locomotive, impervious to bullets. Up in the sky, look, it's a giant bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. We ask you to come with us on a far journey, a journey that takes us millions of miles from the Earth, where the planet Krypton burns like a green star in the endless heavens. As we near Krypton, we see high walls and gleaming turrets. We approach the magnificent Temple of Wisdom. Here, civilization is far advanced. It has brought forth a race of supermen, men and women like ourselves, the perfection.
Started talking about how much you enjoyed the flying sequences of Superman.
Right?
And
I always
really
enjoyed
great.
her work very much, too. Well, Superman came about because both Joe Shuster and I were great science fiction fans back in the 1930s. And to fill you in a little on the beginning of it all, one night, as has been mentioned in past stories, ideas kept coming to me, and I kept getting up again and again during the night and just jotting down these ideas and these scripts until very early the next morning I dashed over to Joe's house, which is about 10 blocks away. I showed him the script of Superman, the entirely new concept in which there would be a meek, mild-mannered reporter, Clark Kent, Lois Lane, who scorned him, but who flipped over Superman, not knowing that Superman and Clark Kent were one and the same person. Now, you want to stay? You want to stay with your reaction?
Well, I was
when
very, very excited about the whole idea. I just took on the same enthusiasm. I thought it was a terrific idea, and we went right to work. Right then and there.
You sat down at the drawing board and you began designing the way the characters would look,
Yeah, we
right?
spent the entire day working on it, all afternoon, and we at the drawing board, Jerry and I, and
now I remember that the matter of the costuming of Superman came up, and I remember two suggestions I made to you. One, that the letter S be on his chest.
Right,
as
I wanted
a symbol.
to give him a skin-tight costume to show up his physique, for one thing, and then Jerry suggested putting on
a cape.
A cape,
so that when the character zoomed through the air, would give more action and movement to the character.
Make it look like he's really flying, and very, very.
And of course, you added all those additional things like the boots and the belt and the and the whatever.
I wanted to make it as simple as possible.
And what about Clark Kent?
Well. Both Joe and I, wear glasses, most of the times, and it occurred to me that there was no adventure comic strip hero at that time who wore glasses, so I thought it would be quite different to have Clark Kent wear glasses, and also The wearing of glasses gives the impression of meekness and mildness, which goes into Harold Lloyd, the influence of Harold Lloyd on us and his movies. We were both great movie fans, and we especially loved some of those movies in which Harold Lloyd would start off as a sort of mama's boy, being pushed around, kicked around, thrown around, and then suddenly would turn into a fighting whirlwind.
Part of my own character, too, that I put into it. I was kind of mild-mannered, and wore glasses, so I really identified with it.
Did you look in the mirror and sort of
Oh,
think,
many times for expressions, yeah. For facial expressions, I did look in the mirror. Oh, yes. That was part of it. That was part of the fun.
Can you show us what the original Superman looked like?
Here's the pencil sketch of the original Superman. That was the first cover of the Superman book. That was 1939.
And is that how it actually appeared?
Yeah, that's how he appeared. See?
Right. You were saying that some of the Superman poses. How did you get them?
Yes, I was a great fan of Douglas Fairbanks, and so was Jerry. And I tried to use his stance, the way Douglas Fairbanks looked in the Black Pirate, with hands on his hips, and this. Robin Hood and the Mark of Zorro, and all of those, he had this marvelous attitude, which Jerry and I agreed.
Well, in writing the script, I had Douglas Fairbanks very much in mind, and the athletic stunts that he did too. So the influence of Douglas Fairbanks was not only in the art, but also in the visual action.
The Duke has carried out his promise and parades his prize before the admiring eyes of the pirates.
This is about how I looked when I posed for Joe. And here's another.
How old were you then?
I was in my later teens. I was in my mid-teens when I posed for Joe.
I thought she was the perfect ideal for Lois Lane. Just represented my image of her, and we got to talking. We got to know each other pretty well.
Then he told me that I was exactly what he was looking for as a model, and he had his drawing board set up in the back room, and we went back and we got to work right away. And when we got finished, Jerry was waiting out in the living room, waiting to meet me, and so we met and we. Got along well, and he was also a very shy boy, but very energetic. He was always in motion. We never realized that day that this would turn into a lifetime friendship.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman, fighting for truth and justice. See the adventures of Superman.
Good. Those heads up a bit. Let's get some light on your faces. Good. You've all got it. You remember what it was like the other day. Good.
Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster no longer owned Superman. In 1938, they sold the rights for $130 to DC Comics, now a division of Warner Communications. They own the new feature films, Superman 1 and 2. Siegel and Shuster had to stand by and watch their creation become a multi-million-dollar industry. After years of litigation, Warner's finally agreed to give them $25,000 a year each for life. The road that led to the spectacular success of the recent films began with the radio serials of the 1940s.
Friends on this earth. To mingle with people, to see men at the highest and the lowest, if that's what you want, now let me think. Now, how about a newspaper, a great metropolitan daily?
A newspaper?
Well, yes, join their staff. Be a reporter.
Oh, but you can't do it in those clothes. Not that blue costume with the cloak and shield on your breast. Gee, you couldn't.
Jimmy, these are the cloak and the shield of Superman. If I become as other men, I shall dress as other men.
Yeah, what are you going to do about this? Did he want a border around here? No, just indicated the block.
Superman's current home is in DC Comics in the Warner Building in New York. Today, each step in the production of a comic is a separate and skilled job. The whole operation is a far cry from the simple way Siegel and Shuster worked 40 years ago. But despite the development of Superman into a big business, his appeal remains the same as ever, based on the curious relationship of Superman and his alter ego, Clark Kent.
Clark Kent. Clark Kent, yes. And about joining a newspaper. That should give me an opportunity to learn the troubles of men, to know whom to help and when help is needed. I'll do it. Many thanks to both of you for your advice.
Well, no thanks are necessary. If there were only something more...
Just this. Remember your promise. Never to reveal my identity. And now, goodbye. I've stayed too long, and I'm off. Goodbye. Goodbye.